Good afternoon, friends, and welcome. I'll be sharing live trades and results with you. We'll be evaluating how well these trades work out. We'll be benchmarking this against the S&P 500. I'm expecting to be outperforming it every month. Along the way, I'll also be sharing some lessons I've learned about investments, trading, and building wealth. And of course, the mandatory disclaimer. This is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It should not be interpreted as advice. And with that, let's get into it. Welcome to Trade 37. So first of all, I have to apologize because I didn't actually capture this trade live. But let me explain a little bit how this chart works. I mentioned before, historically, indications of trade show up on the next day because I do all my trading at the end of the day. So example, right here in this section, this trade, a purchase of going long, actually entered at the end of this day. This red line indicates a negative trade result, and that actually closed at the end of this day, but you can see it kind of showing up on the next day. I know that's super confusing. I wish it didn't work that way, but that's kind of how it does. So, for example, this, which was a winning trade, actually entered at the close of this day and exited on the following day. So it's a little bit confusing. They shift over a day historically. On the particular day where I capture it live, it actually shows up on that day, but the following day it sort of shifts. So trade 37 actually entered at the close of this day, which was the 9th. So you can see a little bit of that because I've got a yellow bar here indicating I'm in a position. You can see the level that I went in. And even though it looks like it started on this day, it actually went in on the close of the day before at that price level. And here we are one day later. So one day later, things are looking pretty good. We made a long entry. Adam decided to go in at the end of this day. And day number one looks pretty good. We're up almost 1%. Oddly enough, we were probably up close to 2%, but had a little bit of a pullback. But that's how trade 37 started. Let's see what happened with the rest of the trade. All right, the second day into this trade, things are looking even better. So as a reminder, we took an entry here. First day looked good, we're up a couple percent. Second day, we're up almost 2%. So we're sitting on, just under 38, right around $3,800 of profit. In 2 days, things are looking really good. Let's see what happens on the next day. So I'm going to show the next couple of days because this trade was, I think, kind of interesting. So it is now the third day, which is right at this point here. So you can see we started up on a really nice trend, and then we're backing off a little bit. And, I felt like at this point we're starting to look like we're heading into some zigzaggy sort of pattern, kind of like this slot canyon, which is where I was at the beginning of this trade and why I couldn't record it. But it started to remind me of this quite a bit because it dropped out to this level on this day. And the question is, what do you do? Well, we're still up. Let's hang in there. Next day, gaps up. That sounds great, but then falls all the way back here. And now we're actually in negative territory. We're actually below our entry price. Another great question. What did we do? Did we take an exit or not? We didn't. Next day looked okay, had a nice gap up, and we're back in positive territory. Next day was sort of odd. We actually gapped below the opening of the prior day, but by the end of the day, we're still up in positive territory. Even that looks good. Following day, so are we going to exit at that point? Maybe. We take a little profit. Adam decided not to. Gap down, and then we're back into negative territory. And we're back into about the level we were. So, as I've kind of often asked, I'd love to hear people's comments. When's a great place to exit? Some people might say, well, right there, if you could pick that, that'd be really good. But now that we're sort of dropping below into this area again, some people might see that as a potential, area of resistance. And if you break through, you should exit the trade rate about here. Some people actually would go short. As you know, Adam is a very conservative trader. We only do long trades on this particular strategy. And that probably would have been a good choice. But, we make our decisions at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, we're dropped into here. And it's kind of like, we went up and we came down. We went up and we came down. The question is, when is the place to take this exit? It's a really tough call. So we're sitting in. Adam decided to go for a little more misery, dropped all the way down here. Again, same question. Do you wait for some kind of some type of a price increase or not? We are definitely in some very negative territory. We held the position there. Next day, even though it's a green candle, we're still in a falling market. We still stayed in. And then the following day, we did get some level of recovery. And again, do we wait? Do we not wait? The answer is Adam decided to take the exit at this point, and we can watch that happen live. You can see an order going in, and the nightmare of trade 37 is over. We had bounced around all over the place, but let's head over the tracking sheet, see how we're doing on this trade and year to date. So that was kind of an interesting trade because it closed on October 24th. As I mentioned, it went in on the 9th. So we were in a longer trade than usual, several days. It was bouncing up and down. It fluctuated between positive and negative gains. Turned out that it was a pretty bad trade for us. So on the 24th, the S&P 500 closed at 423.56. It lost 1.58%. So its year-to-date total is year-to-date return is 11.59. On that particular trade, we lost 3.65%. That brings down our year-to-date gain to 23.37. So I don't know if you noticed from the last time, but I've reorganized my spreadsheet a little bit just to make it a little easier to follow. Winning trade percent, we're hoping to be around 70. We're actually below that at 68%. Profit factors down to 1.76. But here are kind of the expected returns. Any kind of profit factor greater than 1 is reasonable. The higher, the better. I like to see it around 2, possibly 3, just depends. When we were up in this territory, we were over 3 on that profit factor, and I think we were close to 80-some% winning trades. But we're back in our norms, which is what we expect. Our year-to-date total on the chart, we can take a look at that. On the chart, it's showing us we are now 11.59%, 23.37. If we look at our 3-year chart, year over year, you can see us trading SPY versus buy and hold. We're still outperforming that by a little bit. Of course, our game is our particularly trading strategies against the S&P 500. We're still seeing about, I'd say, we're in the double territory. We're about double the S&P performance, so we're still doing pretty well. Like to see a higher year-to-date return. You can see some of the prior years in 2022 when it was a terrible year. You can see what they were. You can kind of see what they were when we had a decent year in 2021. But we're right now at 23.37, still respectable. It is, close to the end of October. Let's see what the next set of trades brings. And you can also get an idea of how much we're trading, per year, because 37 trades in October, we've got 2 more to go. So I don't know, we'll probably see something in the low 40, number of trades per year, around 40 or so. So hopefully that gives you some interesting statistics. And let's see what happens on the next trade. That's it for today. How do you think we're doing? Please comment below and let me know how this compares to other investments you've seen. This is for entertainment and educational purposes only and should not be taken or interpreted as advice. Until next time.